can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Tofiq Musayev takes on Ignacio Bahamondes this Saturday at UFC Fight Night, Seattle, Washington. And Musayev made his UFC debut back in June against Miktabek Oralbay, which is an awful opponent to take on in your debut into the promotion. Oralbay's an absolute savage, been on a run, just a killer. So not an easy debut. But Musayev, had a little bit of hype coming in. Former RIZIN champ, had some good wins over in RIZIN. Had a win over Patricky Pitbull. Fought in Bellator. Has a lot of solid wins, a lot of KOs on the regional scene, and was kind of exposed on the ground against Miktabek Oralbay, who was able to get him down. He'd get back up. Oralbay, just with his insane pressure and his wrestling ability, was able to kind of continue getting him down. Eventually got the Kimura submission over him. So Musayev, a really good striker, looking to keep it on the feet. So it will be interesting going up against Ignacio Bahamondes, who's also looking to keep it on the feet, but who's also very crafty and has a lot of ability if it does go to the ground. Think about becoming a member. It's $2.99 a month. Just click that join button down below. Just helps to support the channel. You also get a little bit exclusive content like full card breakdowns, some betting analysis on DraftKings, and we'll start to add some more exclusive content down the road. So again, thanks for the support, guys. Back to the video. So I'm curious to see if Ignacio Bahamondes is going to look to strike with this guy, or if he's going to, play it smart and look to get him to the ground. But Bahamondes, although he is good on the ground, very high level jiu-jitsu, crafty off of his back, doesn't have the best wrestling game. He will shoot takedowns, but he's got 0% takedown accuracy. So not getting any takedowns in the UFC, which is kind of crazy, honestly, considering how many submission wins he has. But Musayev, 36 years old, getting up there in age, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach, taking on Bahamondes, who's going to be 28, 6'3" with a 75.5-inch reach. So Bahamondes going to be 8 years younger, 6 inches taller, and have a 6.5-inch reach advantage. He's got the UFC experience. He's more well-rounded. I think he's got the striking, the skill, the distance management. Going to be the longer guy, although he doesn't always use it, which is kind of frustrating. Doesn't always use his length that he's pretty much always going to have, unless he's taking on something like Jalen Turner, but pretty much always going to have that reach advantage over guys. Sometimes doesn't really fully utilize it, but again, still young, barely into his prime. I think he'll start to really embrace that length and incorporate it into his game. And Bahamondes, he didn't have the best performance in his last fight against Fiziev, but again, Fiziev is very high level. He's a very good striker, but he's also compact, fast, and powerful the same way that Musayev is. So it's going to be interesting. It makes me kind of think if we're going to see a repeat of Bahamondes' last fight. But Fiziev was working in the wrestling as well. He had like 4 takedowns on Bahamondes, who still got like 75% takedown defense. He had 85% takedown defense going into that fight before he gave up those 4 takedowns. But I also bet he wasn't anticipating Fiziev to shoot the way that he was. And I for sure don't think that he plans on Musayev shoot on him. I don't think Musayev's going to look to shoot on him either. So I think that Bahamondes really just got to worry about the striking coming his way from Tofiq Musayev. And I think that he's got the skills to be able to handle the striking of Musayev, be able to threaten in the clinch, threaten with the grappling as well. He shot a takedown against Jalen Turner, and it kind of got stuffed, and he just rolled to his back and eventually got the triangle choke. So one of those guys who, no matter how he gets it to the ground, whether he's rocked, whether he's in the clinch, finds a trip, or even just, not necessarily pulls guard, but finds some way to get it to the ground, I think he's going to have a massive advantage over Musayev just with his skill and his overall length and ability to latch up chokes. He's got triangle chokes, Bravo chokes. He's also got a lot of very versatile attacks on the feet. He's got a head kick knockout over Christos Giagos, a front kick knockout over Edson Gomez on Dana White's Contender Series, spinning wheel kick KO of Roosevelt Roberts. So he just mixes up his strikes really good, lands good strikes in the clinch, just kind of utilizing his height advantage there. Can fight well going forward, can fight well on the back foot, and use his length to manage the fight is how I think he'll approach this fight. Has really good front kicks, high kicks, spinning side kicks, so I think that he can keep his range with the kicks, beat up Musayev there, look to control the fight wherever it goes. He's also got the experience advantage in the UFC. I think that he's fought the better opponents. He's got wins over, Manuel Torres, Jalen Turner, who's looked good as of late. Lost to Ludovic Klein, but Ludovic Klein's a dog. He's very good. Beat Trey Ogden, Rong Zhu. These are solid wins. Lost a split decision to John Makdessi back in 2021. But ever since then, he's been 6-2, only losing to Ludovic Klein and Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev, always high level. Had some competitive fights with Gaethje. Was looking good against Mauricio Hufi before he got caught in his last fight. So not terrible losses there. So I'm going to go with Ignacio Bahamondes. He's one of those guys who's very well-rounded, dangerous everywhere. He's been to decisions. He's got the cardio. He's got pretty decent fight IQ. Not going to make any real dumb decisions. And he's got more ways to win. Very talented on the feet, whereas Tofiq Musayev, he's got to keep it on the feet, look to win rounds or find the KO in order to win it. And I feel like Ignacio Bahamondes, he can go to the ground and get it there, work in the clinch, gonna be the bigger guy, the younger guy, more experience in the UFC. Both these guys coming off of a loss, but I would still say that Bahamondes with more momentum, just considering the amount of success he's had in the UFC. And Tofiq Musayev had 2 wins going into his UFC debut, but they were against a 19-9 guy and a 15-5 guy who's now 19-8, 2 guys over RIZIN that I'd never really heard of. Had a competitive fight with Alexander Chambly, but he lost that by body kick. So he's been KO'd technically, by body kick back in the day, been submitted a few times. Anaconda choke, triangle choke, and a Kimura. So does have a hole in his game when it comes to the grappling, but on the feet, pretty defensively responsible, doesn't take a lot of shots. So I don't think that Bahamondes is going to KO him. I think that he can get a decision, maybe hurt him, get him to the ground, get him into the clinch, get him to the ground, find a submission there, but I do think that Ignacio Bahamondes is going to get this one done. He's a minus 300 favorite, which I think is about right, just given everything that I've stated, which is concerning though, because all 3 of his losses in the UFC, he was a favorite going into him. But I'm going to go with Ignacio Bahamondes in this one. I think he'll get this one done by decision. Thanks.